Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle and today we're going to be making this awesome Easter cake. It has pastels, it has eggs, it has egg nests, it has a bunny on top. So if you'd like to see how to make this Easter cake, just keep watching. So to make the cake today, we're going to need white buttercream, 4 colors of pastel ganache, which is made with white chocolate. We're going to need some mini robin eggs whoppers, some pastel multicolored sprinkles, a few peeps, a bag of buttercream icing in a brown color with a grass tip that is Wilton 233. Going to need 3 cake layers. I have green, blue, and pink, and a few spatulas to spread our icing, as well as a bread knife, a little spatula, 2 scrapers, a plastic one and a metal one to help even out the icing on the cake, a regular knife, and a turntable. So the first step to making this awesome Easter cake is to stack our layers and clean up the edging of the cake. So what I'm going to do first is take some of the layers off and start filling the cake with icing. Just take a bit of buttercream from our bowl. Might be easier just to use a spatula. Do that. And just apply even layers of icing in each layer. Now we're just going to take a bread knife, or whatever kind of knife you have, and cut the edging off of our cake because it is a little bit tough, and this will make the cake taste better. Remove all the crusty edges on our cake. So I'm just going to do this all around the cake and try to smooth it out so that it's still round. So if you're like me and you trimmed your cake and it started crumbling a little bit, you're not alone. And what we're going to do is try to apply a very even covering of buttercream icing and try to smooth it out so we can move on to our next steps. So I'm going to start out on the top and apply some buttercream. Smooth it out with my spatula. Make sure you keep an even pressure when you're applying the icing, and use your turntable to help you kind of smooth everything out. Now the side's going to be a little bit more complicated, but we're going to try our best. Just apply our buttercream to the side. And if we need it to be, this can be our crumb coat, and then we can apply another layer of buttercream on the top after it's chilled for a bit in the fridge, because we really want a smooth white surface. And it looks like we're probably going to need to put this in the fridge, but that's okay. It only takes about 10-15 minutes to chill, to set, and then we're going to apply another layer of buttercream on top of that. I like to start from the top of the cake and work my way down, because I find that I have more control and it helps to keep everything from kind of falling. If you're working from the top to the bottom, you can kind of connect to the icing above it and keep everything from kind of like falling to the ground. So now that we've got the base coat of our crumb coat done, I'm going to go scrape off some of this extra icing. We're going to get a smooth layer on the cake, so clean up the icing on the turntable. And then we're going to smooth the top, just work in a very straight motion and pull away from you towards you to create a very even surface of buttercream. Trust me guys, this is going to look really cute once it's done. So I know it looks kind of weird now, but eventually it will be super adorable. And just smooth it out the best that you can. It's not always going to be free of air bubbles. or imperfections, but for the most part, it should be pretty smooth. So now that we've applied a very basic crumb coat layer of icing on our cake, I'm gonna go and pop it in the fridge for about 10 minutes. We'll be back to ice the rest of the cake. So now that our cake has chilled for about 10 minutes and kind of set the icing, we're going to apply another layer of icing on top of that. And right after that, before the icing sets on its own, we're gonna apply some of our sprinkles to the bottom border, just to make sure that they stick before the icing dries. So we're just gonna take our spatula again and go over the cake with some more buttercream. Let's start at the bottom this time. And we're just trying to apply a layer that's thick enough to cover all the cake colors underneath that are showing through. The icing job does not need to be perfect because we are covering it with the ganache on the sides, and it's gonna pretty much be covered all the way on the top. So if it's not perfectly iced, that's okay, trust me. Sometimes you end up wiping off too much icing and you end up with a cake that shows the crumbs and it just does not look too good. Smooth out the top. It's always better to apply more icing than you need on the cake, because once you scrape it off, it's coming off, so it doesn't really matter. Just apply more than you think that you need and everything will be great. So now that our cake is reasonably smooth, I'm gonna go and apply the sprinkles to the bottom. Now this is a little tricky to do because you're working on a weird angle, and so I'm mainly just applying it very lightly on the bottom border, trying not to smush the icing. You can always clean up your messes, but if you totally screw up, it's hard to remove that. So just try to work as quickly as you can, just applying a thin layer of sprinkles to the bottom. So now that we have our cake iced with a sprinkle border on the bottom, we're gonna go work on the ganache around the sides. I have 4 colors of white chocolate ganache, a light pink, blue, green, and a yellow, and I'm gonna snip the tips off and apply the ganache to the sides in a kind of alternating color way. So let's get started. So I'm gonna start with the yellow and just apply a line close to the edge with the color, let it drip down the sides. Like I said, this is probably the most time-consuming part of decorating the whole cake, but in the end, I do think that it's worth it. So I'm just going to continue this down throughout the entire cake. Try to save you guys some time so that you're not stuck here watching bored the whole time. So guys, I finally finished applying the ganache to the cake. It took a little bit of time, but I think it turned out really cute. What do you think? I think it's pretty adorable and springy. So all we have left to do is to apply the final decorations. So I'm using my bag of brown buttercream with the grass tip from Wilton, some little candy eggs and the peeps, and the rest of our sprinkles, and I'm going to finish decorating the top of the cake. So I'm going to take my piping bag and start piping little rings like a donut around the top of the cake and try to connect them and kind of hide the white spots that are in between the ganache and what I'm piping. So these are going to be our little bird's nest that we put our little eggs in. So next we're going to take our little eggs and try to choose a different color for each nest. So try to pick 3 different colors to put in one nest instead of picking all the same colors. That way it adds some sort of variation and more interest to the cake. So I apply it in kind of a triangular method. It's pretty easy. Next, we're going to take the same sprinkles that we applied to the bottom of the cake, and we're going to sprinkle them on top of the cake in the middle, in between the little bird nests. add a generous layer to kind of cover all of the white icing. So guys, I know I said at the beginning I was going to put Peeps on the top, but I had this little white chocolate bunny and I couldn't help but put it on the top because I just think it looks so cute. So I'm just applying a little bit more sugar around where I placed it with the icing so that it'll stick a little bit better and look more even. So here's my finished cake, guys. I think it turned out really cute. I ended up adding the little white chocolate bunny on the top, and that is just a Russell Stover white pastel. You can get this at the grocery store for a little over $1. So I really enjoy how it turned out. I think it's adorable. Perfect for Easter, for any party. Kids will love it, adults will find it nice, and I just really like how it turned out. So if you guys enjoyed watching, please subscribe and leave a comment saying what kind of video you'd like to see next. I'm going to be making a lot of decorating, cake, baking videos, and I am just really excited and I want to know what you guys want to see. Also give it a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys very soon. Happy Easter. Bye.